What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my ranking of the Iron Maiden studio albums. I'm finally getting around to making this video. I've been wanting to make it for a really long time now, and it's been a long time since I've made a long form video on my channel. So I'm coming back strong with Iron Maiden. So they got 17 studio albums, so I'm going to waste little time and just jump right into this. So for my number 17, you can probably guess it's going to be one of two albums. I'm not really breaking new ground with my bottom albums here, but for 17th place, I'm going to put Virtual 11, mostly just because it's the only Iron Maiden album where I really don't like a single song. Granted, I really don't remember a lot of the songs on the Blaze albums, but this one I can remember listening to and just thinking that I don't like a single one of these songs. I guess like Future Real might be the most Iron Maiden sounding song on the album, but I still don't really like it. And a lot of people point to The Angel and the Gambler being the worst Iron Maiden song ever, and they very well might be right, but you could pick any song on this album and I'd agree with you because I just don't like any of them. Um, Even the Klansman, which I know Bruce has done live, and I've heard that version, and it still doesn't really do much for me. It's better, but I still don't really care for the song. And I think probably the worst song on the album, maybe even the worst Iron Maiden song ever, is "Don't Look to the Eyes of a Stranger." That song has like a 2.5 minute buildup of Blaze just singing "Don't Look to the Eyes of a Stranger" over and over again. It's just like laughably bad to me. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about this album. I just don't really care for a single song on it. So that's Virtual 11. And now coming in number 16 is the other Blaze Bailey album, The X Factor. This album is ranked one spot higher, really just because of the song 2 a.m. It's pretty much the only reason this album made it above Virtual 11. Like, I don't like the production on this album. I don't like the songs. I think it's just super boring. It's really dreary and depressing, especially for Iron Maiden. Like, Iron Maiden to me is supposed to be a really energetic band, and really the only song on this album that's even kind of energetic is Man on the Edge. Um, Other than that, yeah, this album is just really dreary. And I know a million and two people have said this, but Blaze's voice just doesn't fit Iron Maiden. You know, we're all used to Bruce's voice. I even like Deano's voice more than Blaze Bailey. He just sounds like a normal dude to me. Like, I don't hate the guy or anything, but I just don't think he has a very good singing voice. I don't really care for it at all. It just doesn't sound good to me, let alone for Iron Maiden. Yeah, like I said, 2 a.m. really the only good song I think on this album. There's decent moments, I guess, here and there. Like Man on the Edge is okay. The verses are okay. I just don't really like the chorus. And full disclosure, like I said, I don't really remember these songs to be honest. Like I briefly skimmed it before I did this video, but I still don't really. My opinions on them haven't really changed. So that's my bottom two. The Blaze Bailey albums, really no surprise to anybody. And my number 15, I am going to put, kind of sticking with the 90s theme here, I'm going to put Fear of the Dark in number 15. This album seems to be kind of split between fans, I guess. For me, I think there's at least three solid songs on this album. The first song, Be Quicker, Be Dead. Um, Wasting Love, I really like. And obviously the title track, Fear of the Dark. I mean, everybody knows that song. I think it's a little overrated, but it's still a pretty good song. But to me, this album, again, it's kind of boring. There's way too much filler on here. And I think it actually sounds kind of commercial. It almost sounds like they're going for more of like a radio friendly kind of sound, especially with songs like From Here to Eternity. Like I hate that song. I hate the chorus on that song. And a lot of these songs kind of follow that same formula. It just seems very, I don't know. It just seems very commercial to me for Iron Maiden. But good things I can say about it. The production, pretty good. Um, I guess that's really about it. I mean, the playing is great, of course, because it's Iron Maiden. But other than that, I mean, these songs just don't do anything for me. So that's why it's so low. Besides the three that I mentioned. And all right, let me consult my notes here. Number 14, Senjutsu, which is their newest album. Came out in 2021, which is actually kind of a while ago. So we're about due for a new Iron Maiden album, I'd say. Um, I just hope it's a little bit better than this album because to me, this album is very front loaded. I think pretty much all the songs on the first half of this album are really good. Senjutsu, Stratego, Writing on the Wall, Days of Future Past is a great song. And then after that, you just start getting into the long songs. That's a main criticism of new Iron Maiden albums these days is that they just make their albums way too long. And I agree, to a certain extent, like their albums are definitely too long. But for the most part, I think the songwriting is pretty good. But yeah, on this album in particular, like the last like 4, 5 songs on this album are just way too long. Like they run into double digit run times, like 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 11 minutes, like all back to back. Like I'm sorry, for any band, if you put any songs that long next to each other, I'm not gonna remember them. Like I'm sorry, no matter how many times I listen to them, that's just most likely not gonna stick with me. Like you'd have to listen to this album like a million times in a row in order to remember that. So for me, like at least the second half of this album is just really forgettable. And yeah, again, too long. But that's really my main criticism of it is that, just trim those songs down a little bit and you might get a more memorable album out of it. All right, up next. This might be kind of a hot take putting it above Senjutsu. I don't know, because some people really hate this album. I don't really hate it as much as other people, but I think it definitely follows the same formula as Senjutsu. I'm putting Final Frontier in number 13. Uh, like I said, this definitely follows the same format as Senjutsu. Like it's definitely front loaded because I think again all the songs on the first half are great. They're short, sweet, and memorable. Final Frontier is great. El Dorado, Mother Mercy Coming Home, even Alchemist. That's a pretty good song. And then after that, songs start getting long again, and then just boring and forgettable. Like I don't know why they did that on those 2 albums. Like they just completely front loaded those albums. But yeah, especially songs like Coming Home and Final Frontier and El Dorado. Like I think those are all really great songs. Some of my favorites from the post reunion era of the band. But again, like the second half, they just gotta trim down those songs. Like it's just 9 minutes, 7 minutes, 9 minutes, 8 minutes, 11 minutes. Like that's just all back to back, just too many long songs. So again, kind of follows the same formula as Senjutsu. So that's why I'm putting Final Frontier this low. And those are all the albums I don't own from the band. So every other album from here on the list I can show you guys. All right, so for my number 12, this album made it actually a little bit lower than I thought it was going to. But I like all the rest of these albums. I think that they're really good or amazing. So I'm putting Brave New World at number 12. Again, it's a little bit low, but I really enjoy this album. Let's see, some of the standout tracks on here are Wicker Man, Ghost of the Navigator, definitely. That's probably my favorite song on this album. The title track, Mercenary, Fallen Angel, and Thin Line Between Love and Hate. I think those are all great songs. But you still got a little bit of like, the long songs happening, stuff like Dream of Mirrors and The Nomad. Like I think those songs are just a little bit too long and they get kind of boring. They just kind of drag on a little bit too long and I just kind of lose interest. But there's technically no bad songs on any of these albums that I'm going to put up next, or even some of the last albums that I was talking about. None of the songs are really bad. They're just too long and boring and forgettable. I know I'm kind of saying that over and over again, but it's true because a lot of their 21st century albums kind of follow that format. So anyway, I think Brave New World is a really great album. So that's where it's coming for me. Number 12. And number 11, I'm going to put Dance of Death. I'm not even going to talk about the album cover. Everybody talks about the album cover enough, so we're not even going to talk about that. So some of the songs I think are great on here. Definitely Monster. That's my favorite song on the album by far. Dance of Death. I think that song's great. It's a masterpiece. And then let's see, Passchendaele, I love. Face in the Sand is great. Age of Innocence, that's a really good tune. I like that one. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Those are standouts. I think I like every single song on the album. There's just a couple filler kind of forgettable tracks like Gates of Tomorrow and New Frontier I don't care for as much. But other than that, I think this is a really solid album. I think this is the second one that came out when Bruce came back in the band. Brave New World was the first one. So they had a really good comeback coming back into the band. So started dropping some banger albums like the next one on my list, which is which is A Matter of Life and Death. Ignore the giant crack on the album cover here. Um, yeah, this one is definitely one of my favorites of the reunion era stuff. Some of my favorites on this one: Brighter Than a Thousand Suns, The Longest Day, Reincarnation of Benjamin Brieg. Lord of Light is such an amazing song. That song is so underrated. I'll never understand why either people don't talk about it enough or it doesn't get played live or whatever. Maybe they did play it live. I'm not really sure. But I love that song. It's one of my favorites on the album. And yeah, that's pretty much it. A lot of these newer albums kind of have a similar sound to them, production wise. So there's not too much to say on that end. Obviously, the three guitarists are ripping up a storm. Great riffs, great vocals. Everything's great musically because it's Iron Maiden. So I don't really know what to say on that end. Their newer albums just they all have a very consistent sound. For better or worse, depending on your opinion. But I like it. I like a lot of these newer albums, especially the ones that are higher up on my list. By the way, that was number 10, so now we're in my top 10. All right, so next up, my number 9 is going to be the last of the reunion era albums. So I think this is the best one that they've done since Brave New World, and that's going to be The Book of Souls. I kind of slept on this album a little bit because, again, of the runtime. So I'm kind of contradicting myself a little bit here, saying that a lot of these albums are too long, and then I pick like their longest album ever as my favorite of the reunion stuff. But the songwriting on this album is just so good. Like, I think it's some of the best they've done in a long time. I don't know how long, but it's some of their best songwriting, because you got stuff like Speed of Light, and that's my favorite song on the album. When the River Runs Deep, love it. The Book of Souls, what a title track that is. I mean, come on, that song's amazing. Death or Glory, I love. And yeah, I like all these songs, man. I mean, Shadows of the Valley, Tears of a Clown, Empire of the Clouds, long as it may be, it's a great song. Yeah, I like every single song on there. There's some that stand out a little more, like the ones I just mentioned. But yeah, some of the songs definitely are long. This album's has like a 90-minute runtime or something like that. So yeah, it's an incredibly long album. But if you go back and listen to the songs that I just mentioned, I think you'll find that they're really, really good. I think that's a fantastic Maiden album. And now we are probably at the most controversial part in my ranking. So nobody lose their heads over this, okay? This is my opinion here. So just everybody chill. This is an album that gets put kind of low on a lot of album rankings, but it's not low on mine. It made it all the way up to number 8, and I am talking about No Prayer for the Dying. That's right. I think this album is extremely underrated. I don't get the hate for it. It always gets put in like the bottom 3 with the Blaze Bayley albums, and I don't agree with that whatsoever. I obviously think it's a top 10 album, and I'm not saying it's the best thing I've ever heard, but it's definitely good, at least. Like, the production, maybe not the best, because I think they recorded this album like a barn or something, right? Like, I get it, Adrian left for this album, Yannick came in, so people were kind of, not digging that at the time. So I get why people weren't really digging this album at the time, but I would think by now people would have come around to it, but it doesn't seem like that. I mean, there's a few fans out there, but for the most part, there's a general consensus around this album that it sucks, and I don't think it sucks at all. Tail Gunner, Holy Smoke, No Prayer for the Dying. The title track is an amazing song. Like, that's just a great Iron Maiden song. I even like Public Enema, number 1, Fate's Warning. Fate's Warning is a really good song, underrated. All the songs on the first half are really great. Let's see. I even like Hooks in You. That song kind of gets crapped on a little bit, but I think it's a fun song. Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter, one of the best on the album. And yeah, those are all the standouts for me. So I really didn't mention like 3 songs. I think The Assassin, Run Silent, Run Deep are kind of filler, but other than that, I think this is a great album, besides, the production maybe. And I can hear like Bruce was starting to change his voice a little bit around that time. He was kind of making his voice more gruff and growly and aggressive sounding. So maybe that plays into it a little bit. I don't know, but this album definitely gets a lot of crap from fans, and I don't really get it. You know, it's a great album to my ears. So number 8 for me. All right, and my number 7 is also an interesting one because this is an album I really slept on, and it's actually fitting that it's number 7 because it is going to be Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, if I did this ranking a year ago, this album probably would have been like 4 or 5 spots lower. Seriously, like I don't know what it was. I didn't really like the keyboardy sound on this album. I didn't really like, the more, I don't want to say poppy, but it just sounds kind of like it sounded a little bit more 80s, I guess, some of the keyboards that are on here, some like the production, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it was Can I Play with Madness because I really don't like that song. I think it's the worst song on the album by far, and probably one of the worst Maiden songs ever, if I'm being honest. But besides that song, like there's really good stuff on this album, and even some 10 out of 10s, like Moonchild, Infinite Dreams. Why did I ever sleep on that song? That is a 10 out of 10 for sure. I absolutely love Infinite Dreams. Definitely my favorite on the album. Evil That Men Do, I love. Prophecy is really great. Only the Good Die Young. I love that one. I'm still not totally sold on the title track. It's a little bit too long. I like the end, but other than that, I think the title track goes on a little bit too long. Clairvoyance, okay. I think it's kind of But other than that, yeah, I think Seventh Son is a great album now. It's number 7. So I unnecessarily slept on this album for the longest time, but I'm glad I finally came around. So yeah. Seventh Son is number 7. All right. And number 6, the album that started it all, the debut, Iron Maiden from Iron Maiden. This one's got Paul Di'Anno on vocals, as we all know. So yeah, what can I say? I mean, this album is great. I don't really get the production complaints that a lot of people seem to talk about, including Steve Harris. It seems like I don't really that doesn't really affect my listening experience with the album at all. Like I think it sounds pretty great. I mean, it sounds kind of raw, I guess. Has a little bit more of a punky sound, but I think it's a great album. These songs are great. Remember Tomorrow, Phantom of the Opera. That's like a top 10 Iron Maiden song ever. Absolutely love that song. It's a 10 out of 10. Transylvania, really underrated. Strange World is really underrated. Yeah, it's a great ballad. I love that song. I might like it more than Remember Tomorrow. I don't know. And then Charlotte the Harlot's probably the one song I don't really care for too much on the album. And then, of course, you got Iron Maiden from Iron Maiden off the album Iron Maiden. So, yeah, it's a classic. It feels kind of low on the list for how much I do like it, but the albums I have next I just love so much. So this album has to be number 6, but it's a great album. I love it. The debut. All right. And now coming in, we got the top 5 now. So coming in at number 5, I have the second album with Bruce, Peace of Mind. It's a classic. It has their most popular song, The Trooper, on it. But I don't know if that's my favorite song on it. I don't know what my favorite song on this album is, because the whole first half is just stacked. It is a stacked track list. Like Where Eagles Dare, 10 out of 10. Revelations, amazing. Fly to Icarus, Die with Your Boots On, The Trooper. Like that's all in the first half, and it's just all stellar songs. And then everyone else kind of feels this way too. Like the second half kind of tapers off a little bit. I don't dislike any of the songs on the second half, but it does kind of, like, there is just a teeny tiny dip in quality, I guess, in the songs a little bit. Like Quest for Fire, probably my least favorite song on the album. Still Life I Like, Sun and Steel, Tame a Land. Yeah, those are all good songs. I like them a little bit less considering how good the first half is. But overall, this is a really great, like, I don't know, 8 out of 10 album. It's amazing. There's some really stellar tracks on here. So Peace of Mind, number 5. My number 3 and my number 4 kind of go back and forth quite a bit. So it's really hard to pick which one I like more between my number 3 and 4. So this could kind of change any given day. But for right now, I'm going to put the second and last album with Paul Di'Anno, Killers. And it is, in fact, a killer album. I mean, freaking Wrathchild, Murders in the Rue Morgue, like those are the first 2 songs on the album. Like that's, it's going to be a great album when those 2 songs open the album. Genghis Khan, Clive Burr's drumming. Oh my god, he is such an underrated drummer. Like I freaking love Genghis Khan. It is so good. Innocent Exile, his drumming is amazing on that song too. The freaking 16th notes on the hi-hat on that one part, he's just going lightning fast. It's insane. And obviously the title track, Killers, amazing. Purgatory, pretty underrated. Drifter, Prodigal Son, I love everything on this album. So yeah, my top 5 is really hard to nitpick the songs because I can't. They're all so good. So Killers, number 4, love it. And my number 3, again, sometimes it's number 4, but for today, it's going to be number 3. I'm going to go with the amazing Somewhere in Time for my top 3. It's kicking off the top 3. What can I say about this album? I love the production on this album. It's really unique because it's kind of the only Iron Maiden album that sounds the way it does. So I think it's got a really cool atmospheric sound to it. You know, the guitars and the guitar synthesizers just make it sound really cool and atmospheric. So only song I don't care for on this album is Heaven Can Wait. And even then, it's not really that bad. I used to dislike it more. It's just the chorus kind of gets on my nerves after a while. But other than that, I love everything else. The title track, Wasted Years, it's a huge live anthem for them. Sea of Madness, super underrated. Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner, you want to talk about underrated. That song is extremely underrated. It's like one of my favorite Maiden songs in general. A Stranger in a Strange Land, Deja Vu, Alexander the Great. I love it all. So yeah, Somewhere in Time is my number 3. Top 2. Here we go. Completely goated albums we got here. All right. For my number 2, I'm going to put the first album with Bruce Dickinson and their third album overall, Number of the Beast. It's an all-time classic, and it's an all-time classic for a reason, because you got freaking Run to the Hills, that's the big hit off the album. You got Number of the Beast, you got Children of the Damned, 22 Acacia Avenue, and Hallowed Be Thy Name. I don't know if that song's my favorite Maiden song, but it is up there. It might be. I don't know. It's hard to pick, but Hallowed Be Thy Name is like probably top 5 at the very least. And even the 2 songs that a lot of fans like to crap on a lot, Invaders and Gangland, I love. So there will be no Invaders and Gangland slander on my channel. Nope. I really like those songs. I don't really know why people don't like it. Like Clive Burr's drumming at the beginning of Gangland, like that just immediately hooks me. And I think it's a great energetic song. Same goes for Invaders. Like the whole album is it's just got so much energy and just so much great playing and great singing. The scream on Number of the Beast, do I even need to mention that? So yeah, Number of the Beast is my number 2 all-time classic album. And my number 1, I kind of gave it away with my t-shirt here, but I am going to go with The Almighty Power Slave. I really don't even know where to begin with this album, to be honest. Like, I praise this album a lot. I give it a lot of warranted praise, trust me. I can't really pick apart tracks on this album because I think every single song is a 10 out of 10. Literally, like, I would just rattle off every single song if I were to name standout tracks. Like, it is just that good to me. And it didn't take multiple listens for it to click with me. Like it clicked first listen. I was like, holy crap, this album is amazing. Like you listen to this guitar work, the harmonies, you know, you listen to Bruce's vocals, the bass playing, the drumming. That's it. That's all you can have. But it's amazing. I don't know what it is. It's like not only my favorite Iron Maiden album, it's one of my favorite metal albums ever. Like it's in the top 3 for sure. So yeah, I'm Aces High, 2 Minutes to Midnight, Lost for Words, pretty underrated instrumental. The Duelists, I think, is super underrated. I love that one. Back in the Village. And then you got the 2 epic closers with Power Slave and Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Rime of the Ancient Mariner, 13-minute song that does not feel like 13 minutes. It is just awesomeness throughout the whole thing. Even the part where it dies down and it's just the bass and the eerie effects with the guitars. Oh my God. I could glaze this album for hours. Like I really could. So anyway, Power Slave is definitely my favorite Iron Maiden album for sure. And that's it. that's my ranking, y'all. We got through all of them. Thank you guys for watching and sticking through. If you watched the whole thing, I appreciate it. Um, I freaking love Iron Maiden. I'm so glad I started listening to them. One of the best decisions I ever made, and I'm so excited to see them live in a couple of months. I know everybody raves about their live shows, and for good reason. I mean, based on the clips I've seen on YouTube, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be worth it. So I am super excited, and yeah, like I said, thank you guys for watching. If you guys like classic heavy metal content, then consider subscribing to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Give the video a like. Leave your comment of the album rankings in the comments below, please. I'd really like to see your guys' rankings and your thoughts on some of my opinions, whether good or bad. Let me have it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully I'll get back into making some more long form content, album rankings, album battles, stuff like that. I don't know who's gonna be next. Maybe Megadeth or Judas Priest. I'll probably be doing. I got to finish their discographies. I got a couple albums left. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video, and peace out.